Hi dear viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to review a film called Mannan. It's a classic 1992 film starring Rajinikanth, Vijaya, Shanthi, CounterMani, Kushboo, the great Visu and Manorama and whole lot of people. Directed by P.Vasu, and for me it's totally like in total P.Vasu might have directed 5 films of Rajinikanth. Panakaran and Raipali had a similar storyline, and Chandramukhi, I don't need to talk about it. All of you know what a great film it was, and this was totally of all those, and Kuselan, I think of all these 5 films, it had a totally different. I didn't see much of Vasu in it. It was more of a Rajinikanth film than Vasu's direction. It was a truly an entertainer of for that time. Really, if you see the title also, before that we had Talapati, and now this is titled as Mannan, one step above. I think if you know the meaning of what Talapati and Mannan is, Talapati is a commander or the chief commander, and now Mannan is a king. So it's moving one notch up for Rajnikant. The storyline, it's a tussle between two different characters, two opposite characters. One is beautifully played by Rajinikanth. He's very kind, compassionate, and he stands for the poor, stands for the oppressed, and stands for what is true and justice. It was wonderfully played by him. And the opposite character, which is played by Vijay Shanti, kind of very egoistic, self-important, arrogant, and overpowering. And fabulously, she did a job. Both of them did a great job, reprising their roles. I think there is a backstory to this film, and if you were in the 90s, especially 91, 92, when Miss Jayalalitha came to power, and the first term as chief minister, I don't know whether you have heard the story about Rajnikant. They have their residences in the same locality, and it was allegedly stated that whenever she gets out of her house or gets back to her house, there used to be huge traffic jams. The police used to block every other way until she leaves home or gets home. So for people like Rajinikanth, who was even then as a famous superstar, it was a troublesome thing for him. He wasn't able to go for his shootings, or he wasn't able to do his things. So what one day he did was he just I also just read in one of the magazines. I don't remember whether it was Netrikan or Nakiran, which stated, he just walked out of this car and went to a shop close by, bought a cigar or a cigarette, and started lighting it up, and then the whole lot of people who were around there gathered around him and blocking the convoy of Jayalalitha, kind of trying to prove a point that it's not only you that is important. And he also felt being a person who believes in democracy, I think rulers, because we choose rulers, they are for us, we are not mostly for them. Okay, so from his perspective he was right. And so that was the struggle going on between them. And all of you might know that the first 5 years of Jayalalitha was kind of though there were fewer developments done, it was more importance to her. That is where she was caught in this disproportionate cases and all these things. Later on she might have realized the further years or further times she was elected, she was much more calmer, quieter. She didn't repeat the mistakes, which she did in the first term. So this was a film that Rajinikanth was trying to prove his point, and to kind of state that in India or Tamil Nadu, these are places for more for democracy than kind of one person trying to rule over the other. Whether to try to prove a point in a cinematic way, whether I welcome it or not welcome it, I may not. But given the status of Rajinikanth, he need not to prove his point. But anyway, at that time it was needed. As a film, I enjoyed it a lot. I loved it. The way all the characters played their parts. especially Rajinikanth, a lot of standout performance for me. Even the dance, usually we don't see him much dance. Even in Talapati, a couple of songs, he was very good in dancing. Here also, especially the one music with, the music number with Kushboo, it was a fabulous thing, fabulously short as well as, I could see that he can dance well. So dance was one thing stand out for me, and a couple of instances where he talks to his mother. So when he arrives and meets his mother and cries, and so that was one of the standout moment for me. And apart from that, when his mother decides that he should marry his boss, and is telling indirectly, there was no word spoken, but his eyes and the facial expression shows that whatever makes my mother happy, I'm going to do it. Okay, though he didn't like it, he doesn't want to show it. Okay, so that was beautifully brought out. You could see the expression on his face. These are a few standout occasions for me, moments for me. And apart from that, the fiery dialogues when he just barges into Vijay office and trying to state that what is important, what is not important. And one famous dialogue, I think the film is all about this. Nobody is lower, nobody is higher. It's man or woman or men or women, whatever. But it said, the thing that I liked about the movie is in one place where he says that the man has to respect woman, the woman has to respect man. That is like beautifully put in one single line, the entire film. Okay, I think the message there itself delivered, and his smart walk and his kind of his clothing costumes were wonderful, except a couple of shirts that he wore in the house. I did not like those couple of shirts, but other than that, whatever dress he wore from the beginning to the end, they were fabulous. I think we should we should give credit to the those who came up with the costumes. It was a fabulous performance. Each and every bit of Rajinikanth I enjoyed. I mean, a bit of his acting, I should say. He was more fluid and natural. And apart from being serious or being kind or compassionate, he also showed that comedy, the comic side of him. It worked very well with CounterMani. I love him. And many say in the cities they don't really like his comedy, but I love his comedy. Is the person in his whatever he is in real life is in cinema. Whatever he is in cinema is in real. That there is no duality in his approach. That's one thing I really loved. The comedy thing between him and Rajinikanth worked well, and him and in whatever films I see, they both Manorama and CounterMani, they score off well. They go neck and neck actually, especially the last scene, or probably towards the end, where there is this protest and they're talking about the food and things like that. That was a fabulous acting between the two, and the comical thing between Visu. Visu is a great actor. Okay? His comebacks are very great. The Kaka thing was very fabulous. These two, Rajinikanth and Visu, the comedy between them was fabulous as well. Yeah. So, and coming back to Shanthi, I think nobody else could reprise this role, being that aggressive, self-reported role. I don't know, at that time, 91, 92, it could not been matched by any other actress in Tamil or Telugu, whoever was there at that time. I think nobody could have done that job. She did a fabulous job. I never felt that it was Vijay Shanthi. I felt I could see that Shanti Devi, character. I think only she smiled maybe a couple of times towards the end and in between, where there was this comical sequence between CounterMani and Rajinikanth. So that was, I truly believed the costume, the way she walked, the way she turned, the way she looked, every bit of her looked like this proprietor this kind of self-important preparator. Fabulous job. I think nobody else could have done this well. And coming back to Visu, his lines, or every film that you watch, you just admire his comeback lines, and when somebody says something, immediately he's there to say something, So that was, and he's also very natural actor. He's also very natural actor. CounterMani, no words. It was very good comedy. I laughed a lot. Even now, when I saw yesterday, I was laughing. So when there's always an underlying meaning to his dialogues. There could be some politics, there could be some personal life, there could be some kind of, even it is Rajinikanth. Whenever he puts up his hand, he teases him, and in couple of occasions he calls him like Vada Poda, like that. So it was a fabulous thing. Like every bit of his acting made me laugh. His body language, dialogue delivery, fabulous. And Manorama, initially she wasn't used much, but towards the end, especially that scene where they had this, Dharna, or fast before the house of Vijaya Shanthi, that showed the real acting prowess of Manorama. Other than that, she didn't get much to play in the beginning. Okay, that was fine for me, but could have been little more. Her character could have been little more stretched and given importance to. Um, yeah, and then coming back to like some other actors like Kushboo, she did a good job. Initially she is happy-go-lucky character, and then she turns out to be in the later part of it very docile and accepting. She just reprises the role of a common, middle-class woman who have to accept certain things in life, and everything is not easy for them. So that character was really played by her well. Bandaribai, who played Rajinikanth's mother, I think she was a glimpses of that 60s acting. When you see in comparison, it's not good to compare, but when you see in comparison, Manorama, she evolved. If you see her acting in the 60s, it's different from 70s. 70s to 80s, she evolved. I think she stayed on for more. But for Bandaribai, I felt that the dialogue deliveries were the 60s style still. So anyway, she did a job. Could have been little more that 90s feeling I didn't get actually. So that was the thing. Music was fabulous. Every song, the first one, Amma and Arika, and the duet song between Kushboo and Rajinikanth was fabulous. And then Gumtalagadi song was very good. And I think they made an attempt to make Rajinikanth sing. That was a fabulous attempt. I wished he could have sung few other songs in few other films. We weren't lucky to see all those things. Maybe in future he could still do it. And Chandiraniya was a fabulous music. The set in Chandiraniya I really liked. Um, yeah. Yeah. Sets were fabulous. Even the house of I don't know whether it was a real house. I couldn't make out Jishanti's house was real or kind of set. That was very good. And the set for the song was really good. Probably the Vijay house was set, I'm not sure. Okay, so that was the good thing, that they don't make you realize what it was, probably. And another standout performance for Rajinikanth is when he talks English, comes down the elevator and then comes to Vijay Shanti and talks. I think I just checked, it was about 1 minute, continuous one single shot that he speaks. See, you have to take care of so many things. You have to take care of your dialogue delivery, and you're speaking in a language which is not your mother tongue, or a language you may not be that fluent in. So, and then you have to express yourself. You have to stand right, speak right, look right, and then that too, that you have to carry in front of all those people for a minute. That was a great job done by Rajinikanth. Yeah, his comical nature, I loved when he had that comedy with CounterMani, and also with Kushboo in the bus when he's traveling to the office. That was very good. That is just that childlike nature in him. I think probably in real life also that often comes. It's not childish, but childlike, almost like a child. That's where he scores off his comedy. Music, as I said, fabulous. Maybe if I felt the music, because in comparison to Talapati and in comparison, there was music in Basha. The fight scenes, especially the last fight scene, could have been little better. BGM could have been used, background music could have been used, but it was a fabulous thing because I liked the songs and the other music of the film. Sets were great. I talked about what else. Stunts. I haven't. I think there were in all there were only two fights. Could have done better. I think mostly Rajinikanth did his stunts. There was no stunt double. Maybe a couple of occasions I felt it was a stunt double. The stunts weren't as great as some of his other films. Yeah, so that is what my overall viewpoint. But it's a fabulous film to watch and a lesson learned actually. I'm not talking about being woman, man, whoever it is. When somebody tends to be egoistic in life, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You need to treat people. You need to forgive. The problem comes. See, here also they are not. There is a positive shade to Vijay Shanthi also. She's not completely wrong on her part. One thing, people tend to be what they are, the way they are brought up by their parents. When they are given too much importance, they start feeling that they are important in life and in the world. Or sometimes your experiences, or you start winning things in life, you're successful in life, things start getting into your mind or your brain. Then what happens, you start behaving differently. You need to tend to forgive people. You need to, time and again, you cannot carry on with your grudges all the time. Though people might have done something wrong to you, we need to forgive. See, the great MGR, the way he handled his life was totally different. So he could even meet a person who shot him. Probably I heard it from someone which said that no, when he saw Emarada after shooting him, he just stood up and shook hands with him, talked to him. So that is, we cannot go to that extent, but we need to forgive people and move on with our lives. If we carry our past, and that's not probably Jayalalitha to a certain extent, because I watched one of her interviews with Simi Agarwal, or I'm not. She is one of the Hindi actresses who interviewed her, maybe in the early part of 2000, 2005, something like that. I'm not sure, or even after it, before it. Simi Grewal, I don't know her exact name. That's also where she talks about, that Jayalalitha was naive when she was young, and all people have shaped her into. No, it all can happen to our lives also, but we cannot carry on that for our rest of our life. Eventually what happened to Jayalalitha? See, the people those whom she believed in, they were the ones who deserted her, who forsook her. Things can happen, so we need to know who is really good, who is really bad. There is no good or bad person, but what they are trying to do, we must be aware of, and according to that we have to shape our life. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this review. Like and subscribe and share this video. Comment on this video. Hopefully we'll look forward for more stuff like that. Thank you.